Oh yeah, his hoop snake.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
They get up on the hill and they reach around, they grab themselves by the tail and they roll down the hill like a wheel.
I don't remember, but I remember that story. He was telling it to Bob Pugsley up there, you know, and Uncle Bob, he'd say, well, the hoop snake, he said, you have to carry a board with you about that long, he said, about a foot high, a piece of wood, you know, or a 1 by 12, and then that hoop snake, it coils up like a wheel, and it's got a big stinger in its tail, and it'll roll towards you, and if you have that, put that board down by your legs, then it'll stick that stinger in the board instead of your leg. And he was telling Bob Pugsley that. And Bob, you know, he's pretty hard-headed. They'd argue, and Bob said, that's not true. That couldn't happen.
Oh, yeah?
Bob, oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. That was his hoop snake story, yeah.
He scared the living crap out of me with that bear rug.
Why was that scary?
Well, it had a big head on it. It was laid in Grandma's house, and I'd go down there. I was only about 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, you were little.
Yeah, it had
grabbed that bear head and chased me with it.
Jeez.
Yeah. Then I remember the time that I think Dad had to dig a new hole for the toilet, the old outdoor John, you know. So the outdoor toilet wasn't functional. So and Uncle Bob was there visiting, and so he took off after dinner that night or supper, you know, and out across the prairie. And as kids, we were kind of following him, you know, staying way behind him. You know, he was out there on a mission to go to the bathroom. We got back to the house, and our mother said, "You gotta, you know, leave him alone, you know."
Man's got something to do.
Yeah, he had a job on it. And as kids, we kept sneaking over the hill and sneaking up on him.
Seemed like kind of time for payback retribution.
Yeah, right.
You guys weren't ever vindictive.
Well, then I'll tell this other story. This is a little bit. Not a dinner table story, but.
Don't let it stop you.
When we were kids, we used to go out on the north side of the old homestead shack, you know, and in the fall, you know, Dad would always throw the dirt up against the side, you know, to keep the wind from blowing in.
Yeah.
Well, we used to go out there, and that's where we go pee, you know. So, maybe Rose was there too. And we had our own, each one of us had our own spot where we go, you know, and then we would pee there, and they would erode a little creek, you know, like a little river there, and then we took baling wire and bridges over it and everything. Well, then we got to this point where somehow this contest came up, and Brother Bob said, well, I'm going to go, I'm going to go pee here, and then Dave, you see how many times you can run underneath the stream, you know, so I'd be running back and forth. But, and then I remember one time I looked up and chicken fried steak.
And after that I had scampi with man.
That would be me.
I don't need that with man.
No, it'll only take a second. What do you want? It will take a second.
Chicken fried steak.
Oh, that will take 2 seconds. But that's it. Promise.
Winnie, that was kind of the end of that story.
That was all?
That was
Leading up to something.
well, it kind of was. It was a game, you know. We'd play,
you
and
made little
we'd run
bridges
back and
like-
forth and count how many times we could go underneath, you know. I remember one time I looked up and
Oh, got a mouth or a face full?
guarantee you that human pee was wet and salty. That's probably the worst story. I should have told that one.
Oh, you got to get them all. That's good, Dad.